First of all, I need to know the standard stuff, audio and visual, if that's okay. Just setting up for chat now. Live chat. Done. Right. Cool. It's all looking good. We've got lots of information coming up on the chat there. Wowee. So we're going to go right to the top. And who have we got? Born Outside. I love you. First with the comments there. Awesome. So how are we going? 100%. So audio and visual are good. That's cool. Very, very cool indeed. Nice. Right. So much to get on with tonight, like you wouldn't believe. Thanks ever so much for everyone joining in the UK Prepping Community live stream. I hope you're all well and you're doing good. Let me see. What do we need to do? We need to see who's in the house. So we've got Homestead Oz from Australia. G'day, mate. 4x4 fella. Hi, Run to the Woods. Andy, how you going? Steve Brady. Born Outside. Stuart Lennon. Tactical. Yo. Oh, I'll have to mention about some of this soon. This is crazy. John O.D. Steve Wales. Hey. Awesome to see everybody in the house. Jay Hay. Mikey Outside. Lee Patrick. Wildwood Weeds. Faye. Hi, honey. Alpha Kilo Prepper, Nudge. Oh my goodness, look at this. Finland Survivor, Bazza the Bear, London, UK Girl. Good that we have some females in the house. That's awesome to see. Check it out. What do we got here? Neolithic, Fiona M. Oh wow, look at all these people. Blimey, oh, look at this. Awesome, this is absolutely wicked. Very, very cool indeed. Lord Flashheart, not Flesh. Sorry, Fleshlight. I remember that was cool. Litter Picker, Ralph Bitter, awesome. This is wicked. Pete Goodfield, Gunny A10. Ooh, A10's one of my favourites. Justin Holmes, Andrew Wilkes. This is awesome. Zoe Moore, Roy Dalton, Pedro Moon Unit. Look at this. Charlie Mick 1, RC Bushcraft Adventures, Captain Scruff, and many, many more. We could be here all night long going through. Thanks everyone for joining in. I hope you're all good, like I said. Lots of information, and we've got everything set up already. So we've got the emails and we've got the commodity prices live, which is all very, very good. Tactical, yeah, also, if you can, Andrew Christopher, hi. You're always so fast off the mark. If everybody could hit the thumbs up, that really, really helps get this information out to everybody, okay? So that really does help more than you can believe. It's the YouTube algorithm, and the more that a video is liked, the more it's shared to people. And don't forget, if you're watching this on the replay, thanks very much for taking your time out of whatever you're doing to watch this. And obviously, everyone who's tuning in live right now, it's awesome. We've got nearly 100 people already, and we've only been on 3 minutes. So it's getting very, very popular. I'm very glad to see that all of these important messages are getting out to the public, not just the UK, but around the world. So Loose Nut, Reality Check, hi. Gorillo, Shadow Man. It's awesome. Absolutely awesome. Wow. Absolutely made my day seeing such a wicked start. 100 people under 4 minutes. Now that rocks. So let me start off with, if anyone wants to donate any money, etc., there's a link below the video, and I believe the pinned comment, and it's PayPal. Goes straight to 100%. Super chat, that's actually enabled, and there's a thanks button as well. If you want to, you don't have to. It's absolutely fine. Currently, the money is just to be sent off. I think I'm going to be doing that Monday first thing. I only got the bank details through from the Gurkhas this afternoon. Didn't get around to it because I was busy, but Monday morning, if I find 10 minutes, I'm going to fire that £1,000 plus, wherever it is, straight over to the Gurkhas. So thanks to everyone who's contributed on that. The next thing on the agenda is I'm currently trying to raise funds for a trailer. Now, I'm not sure if the guy wants me to mention him. I'm not going to for now, but if he wants me to, he'll message on here in a sec. I've got a very large donation, and my goal is £800 to get this trailer that I've got my eyes on, which is going to help me and my family, so I can go out and get some firewood, to save us spending, was it £220 every 3 weeks to buy firewood, okay? That's a lot of money all through winter. So I figured if I can get a chainsaw, that's currently in the process. I'm trying to get it to me. The next thing I need is a trailer to get all the firewood back to the house. That'll save our family an absolute fortune, like you wouldn't believe. The gold is £800. Currently, you're going to listen to this, it's nearly £560 already. So if we can get to that magic £800, that trailer can be got. Absolutely awesome. Like I say, you don't have to. I'm not asking anybody, but I'm just telling you what it is at the moment. So yeah, we're a few £100 away from an £800 magic goal, which is awesome. So I can't really thank you enough, and you know who I'm talking about right now. You're an absolute legend. I seriously believe that. It's helped us more than you can possibly imagine. Björn, how you going, buddy? I was on Björn's live stream. He does live streams in the morning just before I go to work, so I can have 10 minutes on there with my chocolate coffee, like me and Björn like to drink before I go to work. So it's nice to chat to our friend in Norway there, which is very, very good indeed. Right, we had a few people in the shop today. I'm hoping Gareth, BKW, my man, I miss you so much, dude. I haven't seen you for years. You need to get your ass somewhere so I can see you, all right? But yeah, we had some beautiful people coming to the shop today, and they had no idea who I was, so we started chatting. I mentioned about the live stream, so hopefully they're going to be joining in this evening, and they couldn't believe that we have viewers from all around the world. So just to prove that, can you tell me whereabouts you are right now? You don't have to be exact. Anywhere that's near enough is fine. It just gives everyone on the chat a general idea where this live stream is going, okay? Now, I first thought it's just going to be like a little UK social thing, but damn, look at that, nearly 150 people right now, you beautiful people. And we have got people in Leeds, South Wales, Norway, America, Wirral, Leicester, Suffolk, Staffordshire. Oh my God, it's too fast. Newcastle, Switzerland. Good God. Manchester. Western Australia, Zurich, Norfolk, East Anglia, Brighton. Oh my God, it's too many. You guys are mental. Hertfordshire, Inverness, Scotland, Mid Wales, Yorkshire, Shropshire, Essex, Ohio, Belmarsh. That's funny. Bristol, Manchester, Cornwall. Awesome. Neath. Wow, we spoke about that on our last live stream about the trouble over there. Russia. That's awesome. Yorkshire. The Spyroverse. I love you. Oh man, that's awesome. Let me see. It's all over the place. Scotland. Blimey, look at it all. You guys are from all over the place. Someone's in their shed, which is nice. Blimey, look at that. Waterlooville, Hampshire, not far from where I used to live. Wow. I was just in West Lee, just outside Havant. Essex, Derby. Blimey out. Manchester, Newcastle upon Tyne. Look at that. Vishire. Yeah, that's a leak, I believe. That's insane. So you guys from all over the place. We got Pembrokeshire, I just noticed there. Look at this. Insane. Missouri, United States of America, Cambridgeshire, Brisbane, Australia. So we got a few people from Oz down under, which is awesome. Hartlepool just donated as well. Well, thanks very much indeed, buddy. That's awesome. I've got to check. Oh yeah, I'm going to have to delete that pinned message because I think that is wrong. I've just noticed that. Yeah, the actual PayPal address is in the drop down underneath the video. Wow, that was a good job. I checked that. Look at that. Awesome. Yeah, Faye, seriously, thanks for that. Also, any of the moderators there, can you remind me, just before 9 o'clock, it's beer o'clock, okay? I've got a nice ice cold cider sat in that fridge just over there. So I'm trying to do like a regular thing. So we can have a bit of knife porn. I'm gonna tease you, all right? Real quick knife porn. Okay. Some of you guys and girls like big knives. Okay. This is all a bit teasy, okay? A homemade one. So yeah, you'll be seeing those a bit later on, okay? So it's awesome. We're going to have a beer at the same time. We're going to have a bit of knife porn. I've got a few other preppy items to show you guys on screen, okay? And we're going to talk about that as well. So it looks like we've got a lot of people from all over the place, which is absolutely awesome. Wow. Someone's even from Barnsley. Is that amazing? God, I didn't know people still live in Barnsley. That's incredible. I'm only joking. South Norfolk. Hey, look at this. Awesome. So that's all good. So we've got a lot of people from all over the country. I'm not sure whether it's worth doing a fuel update prices, because it seems to me, from what I've been hearing before this live stream, that the fuel prices in the UK have remained stagnant. Now, I'm getting 195.9 for diesel. I've got a funny feeling it's pretty much the same where you guys are, okay? If it's a lot higher than 195.9, can you whack it in the chat? Because that'd be interesting to see if it is jumping up in places, okay? Because we've got a little bit. Now, this is important, right? We've got a little bit of news only just come in. I only read it literally 10 minutes before going live. And it's a little bit about Wales and travel, okay? So we're going to be going into that shortly, all right? So now we're looking at Kerno. Look at that. Cornwall in the house. Exmoor. So let me see. Long John has said it's £2 a mile on a peasant wagon. Bloody, what's that? Roughly 195 for diesel. Yeah, it's talking about that. Check your. Oh no, not again. Shit. Right, I'm gonna see if I can do this on my laptop. I usually do it on my phone, but I'm using that to record. So I'm just waiting for it to boot up. Holy sh! Are you kidding me? Oh my god! I can't believe that. That's it. Listen, guys, you don't need to donate any more for the trailer. The magic number has already been achieved. Oh, man, I'm in shock. I can't believe that. You're the man. You know what I'm talking about. Oh my god. Yeah. I need a drink. I probably need a stiffer one than that, if you know what I mean. The trailer's done. All I need is that chainsaw. So Andy, whenever you can get over here, buddy, that's awesome. If you can't, for whatever reason, there's 4 people that has asked to bring it over. Okay, so just let me know what's going on. As soon as we can get that, the better. I can go out there and start. Oh, tack, honestly, brother. You wait till I tell my partner when she comes home. Now it's weird because we're sort of very slowly settling into some sort of routine. Now, what I do when I do the live stream, my partner, she goes off to the local pub and she's getting to know all of the local farmers, etc. And we're getting a lot of intel from those conversations. So when she comes back, I'm going to be trying to make notes of what's going on, and I'm trying to keep it back from when we do the next live stream. So what we're going to do, I'm going to go over the notes that I've been making from a few people, private messages. Once we go through these, I'm going to hit on with all of the emails. Now, thanks ever so much for everyone who's been emailing into the show, because I'll tell you what, there's a hell of a lot going on out there which is not in the mainstream media, all right? And some of this information is seriously important, all right? And it's given you guys, the awesome prepper community, not just the UK, but globally, the heads up, okay? So we can adjust and plan our prepping accordingly, okay? So this one was a bit of a shock, and I actually checked it out, and it's true, all right? Because I don't like to take stuff off face value and just put it out there without checking it myself. Because the last thing I want to do is to give people false information, okay? So all of this information has been screened, checked, not fact checked, human checked, all right? So any of you guys prepare your own food, vacuum seal, can, that sort of thing. Now let me show you what I've been up to. Now, you know, my old message, and I've been saying this for a long time, okay? The best thing you can do as a prepper is to stop watching television. Now, television is very addictive, as we know, okay? So, in order to buy time, stop watching television. Just say, for argument's sake, you get home around 5 or even 6 o'clock. You have something to eat, kids are in bed, etc. So, from 7 o'clock onwards, what are you going to do? You probably sit there watching television until about 11, sometimes half 11, something like that, and then go to bed. So, just think of all those hours added up over a 5-day week, right? That's a lot of hours. And then you add on to the weekend, it's raining outside, you can't be bothered to do anything. You could just sit indoors all Saturday watching Sky Sports or whatever, movies in the evening. That's a lot of hours in front of that rectangular black shape in the corner of your room, all right? That is going to suck away the time in your life, okay? Don't forget, it's only 24 hours in a day, and for most of us, it's nowhere near enough. So if you want to waste your life watching television, don't do it. I'll tell you what I was doing the other night. When I got back from work, I cooked for my family. Everyone got fed. We washed the dishes up, put them away. Little one got settled down to sleep. He went to bed. As soon as he went to bed, guess what I was doing? I was vacuum sealing rice. Okay? Loads of these. Can you just see there's a tiny little bit of oxygen absorber in there? All right? I was doing that up until 9 o'clock in the evening. And after 9 o'clock in the evening, I was seriously tired. And I thought, right, that's it. I'm going to have an hour to myself to just sit down, unwind, go on my phone, check what's been going on with friends all around the world, etc. Okay, so instead of watching TV, be proactive and do stuff. Because if you haven't noticed, there's a huge, big food issue thundering down the road right towards us. And if you haven't made any preps for it, you're literally going to be spending a fortune on stuff which didn't cost so much not that long ago. So, someone asked me recently about oxygen absorbers. Now, I get mine off eBay, have been there for years. This, believe it or not, was a huge big pack of oxygen absorbers. And as you can see, it's inside there. No air in there at all, okay? Now, let me tell you this much. When this bag gets opened and I'm using them, these start to warm up, okay? And if they start to get warm, almost hot, that's absorbing a lot of oxygen, okay? So what I tend to do is I open the top, I take them out of the bag, and when I'm not using them, I just roll them all up like this to try and stop lots of air getting into them, okay? Now, I've had these for ages. They're 100cc, that's the size. So if you're going to be doing something like this is rice. That's about just under 2 kilos in weight. Okay, so if you're packing something like this, all right, there's my head, the size, all right? It's just under 2 kilos there, and one of those oxygen absorbers will do. I used to put 2 in, okay, thinking just in case. But when I actually went through the data from the manufacturers that supply these, the weight and the volume, etc., I only need to put 1 of those in. So I'm saving oxygen absorbers in the long run. Now, like any good prepper should do, is if you're starting to get low on something, stock up, or stock up before it gets to that point. So there's probably, I don't know, about 80 or so left in there. When they run out, I've got another pack, all right? So these ones, again, another eBay find. And look for these, there's an indicator in there. Can you see? That the indicator in there. I don't know if it's picking it up with the light, it's pretty poorly. It's hard to see. There you go. That's a pretty good shot right there. Okay. That tells you the oxygen level in there. And obviously, being red like that, there's no oxygen. It is 0. Okay. It's sealed. So as soon as they run out, I'm going to be going on to these. And they will ensure that there's no oxygen inside your food, which is going to make it go bad. Don't forget, the things that ruin food, right, are light, temperature, too hot, too cold, damp, and oxygen. Any of those things present in food will make it deteriorate sooner than it could, all right? Another thing to do is store stuff in Kilner jars, absolutely tons of these. Kilner are a fantastic company. Myself, I used to get these from a local village not too far from where we used to live down south. So that enabled me to go in there and actually inspect what I was buying, the jars and the seals. There's been a lot of information from friends I have in America that when they've been buying these little orange rubber seals from Amazon, lots of Americans go shopping on Amazon. Balls my piss. I don't know why, because they're more expensive than eBay most of the time. And there has been talk in the prepping community in America that a lot of these rubber orange things are being copied by China. And after about a year or so, they're literally splitting, cracking. They're absolutely terrible. So try and find a local source that sells these physically rather than buying them off of a website. And you can physically check. You can check the labels that they're genuine Kilner. And what you don't want to see is made in China. Okay. So in there, as you can probably see, is lots of dried onion. Now that stuff will last for absolutely years. Now what I might try and do is to open the lid, top it right up to the top, and I might, as Americans say, toss one of these oxygen absorbers inside just to make this last a little bit longer. These rehydrate in warm water, okay, and they're just fantastic. They last for absolutely donkey's years. That's some dried onion. You can buy those. Well, I used to get those in Asda, and a tiny little box, and I think it's like 40 pence. I haven't got a clue what they are now because we moved away from urban feel with all of the benefits of big supermarkets, etc. So I don't know what the prices of dried onion is now, but it was 40 pence right up until when we moved, which was October last year. All right. So if anyone knows the current price of dried onions from Asda, can you whack it in the chat? So anyone else who's thinking about getting them, I was just going weekly shopping and I was buying like 4 boxes at a time. Okay, so it didn't stand out and look obvious. And over time, it didn't take much to actually fill that jar right up. And once that's rehydrated, that's going to more or less quadruple in size. All right, so there's a lot of onions in there. Lasts for donkey's years. So that was a little bit of information about some food preps. Another good thing is when we store food, personally, what I was going to do, because we moved into this rural cottage in the middle of nowhere on the side of a mountain. Yes, it's true. In the rear of the property, it's dug into the mountain, right? So the room that we store our food is absolutely cooler than anywhere else in the house, which makes it perfect for storing food. Okay. So what we decided to do, I was planning on building a great big wooden cabinet. I spoke to Lee because he's done them before, because he's a builder by trade. He spends a lot of time working with wood. He knows his stuff, and he sort of estimated for one cupboard, the cost in materials is going to be around just under £100 to build this thing. So I thought, bloody hell, that's a lot of money. And if we have to move in a couple of years, which we could have to, that's all going to have to be dismantled, and it's another extra pain to take it away. So luckily, Lee found somewhere on Facebook. Now, as all of you know, I don't do Facebook, okay? I never have, and I never will go on Facebook, okay? Everything Facebook stands for, I do not agree with, so I don't put any of my energy in supporting to Facebook. But on this occasion, Lee found something, I think it's Facebook Marketplace, and we got some of those shelves, really cheap. Oh my God, it was just ridiculously cheap. So we got all of these shelf systems. I've gotten them back to the property, built them all up, and I've just rammed all of my food preps on there. One thing, which I said to my partner, the only pain in the ass from storing stuff on these shelves is these garlic puree. I mean, you can tell by the shape, right? They're really hard to stack, etc. It's an absolute pain in the ass. So it was getting a bit out of control. I thought, what do I do? Just put them in a carry bag, hang them over the edge or whatever it is. But she actually said, when you go into Tesco's or Aldi's or wherever it is that you go shopping, see if you can get the holders which they actually have on the shelves. I thought, excellent idea. So guess what? If any of you guys have got tomato puree and you'll store them as your preps, do what they do in the supermarkets. Look at that. All of them are neatly stacked on there. So I've got 3 of these full up, and as you can tell, it's extremely simple to do. Okay, so my little tip is for this week, if you're going into places like Aldi, look where these are. 9 times out of 10 you're going to find an empty 1 or 2 of these. Just take them, put them in a trolley. This is exactly what I've done. Put them in a trolley, and when you scan on the food, keep them in a trolley. The guy looked over and he noticed it was just an empty box. It's fine. And yeah, as soon as I got them back home, I just put them on there, stacked them away, saves loads of space, they don't fall all over the place. It's a good little tip and it works very well. Someone said to me about power outages. Now, lots of people have been in the chatter recently because there's been a review of energy prices here in the UK. Now, I was led to believe that the increases was going to be 40%. All right. So 40% more than what you paid back in April. Okay. They used to do it every 12 months, but now they do it every 6 months. And that was all planned because they realized what was coming down the road, that if they can like increase the prices every 6 months, they're going to scare more people off of us lot, so they can get more money. So yes, the shocking thing is, right, and this is true, right? My partner, her parents live down in Cornwall, okay? And currently their energy bill for the house, I think it's gas and electric, is just over £1,000, right, for the year, okay? Have a guess how much their quote is starting from October. Bearing in mind, they said it's a 40% increase. Now, come on, tell me what you think. We're going to look at the chat right now. They was paying £1,000 for 1 year. They said it's going to be going up 40%. Right? So tell me how much you think it's going to be for a year as from October for them. Let me see. I've heard it's going to be at least 64%. No one said anything. 1,900, 1,500, 5,000. No. Do you know how much their electricity and gas is going to be? £3,000 a year. Okay? Yes. £1,000 a year, pensioners. Okay? They've been paying tax and national insurance all of their working life, the both of them. They're in their 60s. They've worked hard. They've retired. Now they're going to have to find £3,000 a year just to cook and heat their home. And it was 1,000. That's absolutely freaking bonkers. So I don't know what people are going to do, but like I've been trying to sort of, daylight robbery, Faye. You're absolutely right, my darling. Absolutely on the money. It's daylight robbery. Yeah, Björn, you was right. Is there a winner's prize? Oh my God, Björn. Yeah, I'll tell you what, Björn, you just won a prize. Wait, check this out. God, I need to get this keyboard fixed. There you go, Björn. That's just for you, mate. Just in the chat. You won a prize. You got an I love you from Funky. Check it out. Oh, look at that. I've just noticed there's a little crown on there. That's a bit pretentious, isn't it? Nothing to do with me. That's YouTube for you. So, yeah, that is pretty scary, isn't it? So, right, we're going to go back onto this list, like I said before. So, we've gone through a few things. But before I do, I just remembered we're talking energy and stuff like that. This was a really cool thing. You made me blush. Oh, sweetheart. God love you. My friend, now I've got a very good friend in America. He's in North Carolina, bugged out to the mountains, moved his whole family just like I did. We left the cities and we straight out into the mountains, okay? And the goal is to be self-sufficient. And that's going to take time if you haven't got the money, like we haven't got any money. So he sent me this a long time ago. Look at that. It's a USB light bulb with a little hook on there. So when we have a power cut, etc., this is always charged up. It's so simple. All you do, click that. Yeah, it's seriously bright, like bloody crazy bright. And all that is, on and off, nice and simple. There's a USB, okay? And also, you can take your phone and plug it into this, and this will charge up your phone too. So it's a mini power bank and a little light. Oh, God knows how much they cost, but it's by Blue Sky Wireless. There you go. I don't know if that's showing because there's a bit of light reflection. Oh, it's hard to see. There you go. That's the name of the company now. Okay. So if you are interested, have a look for them online. I'm pretty sure you can get them on Amazon because, like I say, a lot of my friends from America always shop on Amazon and they get a lot of their stuff on there. So check out that if you're interested. They're really good. We've got 2 of them. And all I do is when we have power cuts, I just clip them. We got 2 lights in our property downstairs, and all I do is just hang them on the lampshades right next to the light bulbs and just click them on. And it's like there's no difference whatsoever. And they will last, bloody hell, 14 hours turned on, okay? And when you dim down, you just charge them up with a power pack again. Nice and simple, okay? Really easy, really quick, really efficient way to give lighting so carry on as normal when the power goes out. And they have been saying that there will be rolling power cuts, okay, this winter. So it's just another way to sort of keep people worried on, you know, all that sort of thing, blah, blah, blah. So not only are they going to increase the energy prices considerably, they're also going to cut the energy that you're going to receive. So that the more that you can, try to find some money from somewhere to go off grid as much as you can. In doing so, will ensure that you have a much more comfortable ride throughout the crap that's coming down the road. Now, when we was talking about the food preps earlier, like the not the dehydrated, it's the vacuum sealed rice, which I'll put in there. Incidentally, if you are going to be storing rice, it's best to use white rice, okay? Brown rice has lots of oils in it, and over time they do go bad, okay? So just use white rice that's been untreated, okay? I didn't realise there was such a thing, but yeah, you can get treated rice, and God knows what that is. All it is just plain basmati rice. I choose basmati rice because it's a lot quicker to cook, uses less energy, less water, less time to do. And once it's cooked, I just leave the lid on. The moisture in it absorbs and you get a hell of a lot of rice very quick for your money, okay? So talking about food preps, another little thing that's just hit the news in America again. Whether or not this is going to be global Amazon, I don't know. But Amazon are going to stop all Mylar bags on sale on Amazon, okay, from the 5th of August. Okay, let me just see if I've got one over here. Oh, without falling over everything. Here we are. Here is a Mylar bag, all right? Now, I can't use this in my vacuum sealer machine, okay? Because my vacuum sealer machine, I don't know if you can see that, but if you look at it close up, there's these little crisscross material on that side. And on the other side, this side, it's all smooth, can you see? So it needs to have that, so it pulls the air out of the bag. And it will not work if it's totally smooth. So what I was thinking, I got this as off Lee at the bug out, and he brought some of these in to do some experimenting with. So I asked him if I can have one. He said, yeah, sure. I've got one of these. What I plan to do is put some food in there and then put this inside one of those food saver roll bags that I've just made. And I'm going to vacuum seal it, and I'm going to monitor how this fares of keeping my food locked up nice and safe inside. Okay, it seemed pretty cool. They got a good seal on them all the way around the end, and you can see there's a tear mark on top, so if you need to rip it open. So that's another experiment I'm going to be doing. But yeah, apparently Amazon are going to stop selling all Mylar bags on their website. Now, whether it's just American or global, I didn't really know, but it does look like it's going to be across the board, so globally, all right? So their reason for doing this, now get this is going to make you laugh, right? Now, bearing in mind all of those strange coincidences with all of those food processing plants, factories, outlets, whatever you want to call them, have been burnt down, mysteriously gone bust, collapsed, destroyed, whatever. There's so many food processing plants all over the world. There's over 200 that we are currently aware of. There's probably more, all right? So that's going to make a massive impact on food availability. So Amazon's reasoning for banning all Mylar bags for sale is drug dealers use these Mylar bags to put drugs in, send them in the post so sniffer dogs can't smell the drugs inside. That's absolutely true. Can you imagine how many people around the world buy Mylar bags and how many of them send drugs in the post? I would like to guess and say 0.00001% of everyone who buys Mylar bags actually does this. So yes, you've heard me saying the few ruin it for everyone else, but this is seriously taking the mick. All right. So that's absolutely true. That shocked me. So bearing in mind, like I just said, about the attack on food, plants, and outlets all around the place, and now they're doing this. If you can't see that there's an attack on food by now, then it's too late for you, and there's nothing I or anyone else can do to convince you to get your arse in gear and to make preparing food, storing it for your family and loved ones ASAP. Okay. Now I'm a big follower and a big fan of Adapt 2030. Now, who loves Adapt 2030? Okay. David Dubine. Ice Age Farmer has been a bit quiet of late, Christian, but David's pumping out videos, and I'll tell you what, the information that's coming out there is insane. So if you can't see all of this food disruption coming down the road by now, you know, seriously get his skates on, okay? He actually said a few days ago that there's 60 days. He reckons 60 days time, less than that now, there's going to be a huge, massive problem with getting food. Whether or not there's not going to be enough food to go around, I doubt that. I do think there's going to be food, but I think the prices of the food is going to be way out of reach. Already, you're seeing security tags on cheese. Yeah, I know. I didn't believe it. I went to my supermarket on Sunday to do a bit of shopping, and yeah, there was 2 yellow security tags on there. And the funny thing is, this is so easy to peel off. So if you do get desperate and you do decide to go shoplifting because you need to, them little labels, they come off so easy. And you would have thought if they really were serious about it, okay, they would make it a lot harder to remove those. So I do think it's a visual fear thing, okay? People will be going, oh, look at that. They're putting security tags on cheese. Things are getting well bad. And they are. But I tell you this much. You just go, take them off. And yeah, it's absolutely insane. So that is absolutely going on. There's all sorts of random things I wrote down on here, okay? So another interesting thing is people growing their own food, which is a very good thing. Another little tip, I've done this years ago when I had my allotment back in 2010, all right? Very, very cool tip. If you live near the coast, you are in luck, okay? Tomato food. You know when you go to the shops and you buy that big red bottle, it's £2, £3, £4 or whatever it is, tomato rights and all that sort of stuff. Have a look at the active ingredients when you're in the supermarket, okay? And what did it say? Seaweed extract. So I thought, okay, why don't I do my own then? So I went down to the beach, I got loads of seaweed, I put it in a big bucket, filled it up with water, left it there for a couple of days, kept stirring it around, and it went dark liquid. I poured a little bit into my watering can, filled it up with water, and fed my tomatoes. Only feed your tomatoes when you start to see the yellow flowers, okay? As soon as you see yellow flowers appear on your tomato plant, personally, I feed them every other day, okay? And I'll tell you what, they actually went mental. So you save an absolute fortune if you get seaweed, right? If you don't live near the coast and you know people who near the coast, ask them to go out and get some, and when you see them next or whatever, go and cash in. Get loads of seaweed, steep it in a bucket, a tub, or a bag, or whatever you want to. Fill up loads of water. Don't have to worry about ratios. Do whatever you feel you need to, okay? And you just do pretty much the same as what you do on that tomato right thing. You put a small amount in a watering can, bosh. Rub what your dad's brother, okay? Now, this was one of the informations that just landed, like I said, 10 minutes before I went live. Excuse me. Now, this is, I'm not going to mention any names, okay? But what I was told, he's just started a job as an HGV lorry driver. Just like my friend Chris, who I've just seen up on there. UK Prepper Man. Oh, Joe Gould, welcome to the party, pal. Get your skates on, girl. Yeah, UK Prepper Man, Chris, absolutely legend. COVID affected everything. Oh, Sorry, I said the bad word. The issue. He actually changed jobs from IT to a lorry driver, and I do believe he's enjoying it. So that's a good thing. And let me tell you, those lorry drivers absolutely just kept the UK rolling throughout all of those stupid lockdown things. All right. So a friend of mine is doing a bit of side work. I'm not going to tell you what his profession is, okay, for OPSEC reasons. A Tesco warehouse, right? Now I checked this out because, like I said, I always check things out. He said it's the size of 25 football pitches. Slave to no man, greetings, brother. If you're available tomorrow, let me know because we're planning a little trip down your way. Okay, might be cool to pop in and pick up that strimmer if that's still available. So no worries if not, mate. We'll find another time. Yes, this Tesco warehouse is the size of 25 football pitches. It's absolutely massive. Okay, and it's absolutely stocked full of food and supplies. Okay. Which is good news because a lot of people are worried that, oh my God, if that come out that was like half empty, like it usually isn't, that'd be a big problem. So it does look like Tesco are absolutely jam packed full of food and supplies, which is a good thing. The main concern that he's putting to my attention is most of the lorry drivers that operate to and from that plant are in their 50s and late 50s. And speaking to them, lots of them are planning to retire very soon, probably next year. Okay. So you're going to probably see again a big shortage of lorry drivers, all right? Because I didn't realize this, that he said, now, Chris, if you can confirm this would be good, because I didn't have Tom to confirm it before we come on there. He said it costs £3,000 for a HGV license. Now, I'm not really up on HGV licenses like my man Chris, who actually drives them now. There's levels 1, 2, 3, all that sorts of things in different classes. I'm not entirely sure. But he says, yeah, it cost £3,000 just to get a license to drive one of those big lorries, okay? So if they have a shortage of lorries, they've got all that food and supplies there, and they're going to probably be struggling to get it out to supply depots all across the country. So that is a concern. So look at that, 258 people in the chat. If everyone can hit the thumbs up, it really seriously helps. All you have to do is just come out of the chat, hit the thumb up, come back into the chat, job done. That's all it is. The more people that hit the thumbs up watching this video, okay, and the more comments under the video and in the chat, the more this video gets shared to other people. And what will happen is you gorgeous guys who are watching on the replay right now have a chance to see a replay of the live chat. So all of the information that you beautiful people are sharing in this chat, your messages are going to get to people watching in the replay, which is absolutely awesome. It really, really is, because without that, hardly anyone gets to see this, and I can't get all these messages out to the masses. Here we go. Straight class one. He said class one, yeah, £3,000. So yeah, it is factual. So he was spot on. Now this is from someone else. This blew my mind, right? Where I said at the start of this video, where I like to give people the heads up of what's coming down the road, right? Now this. It sort of scared me a bit, but it's a concern, right? Now, the Welsh government, okay? Now, I suspect if this isn't mainstream news across the UK, it could be that Wales could be like a test country for this, okay? The Welsh government transport strategy by 2027 is to move away from individual car ownership. Let that sink in. 2027, no one will be able to own their own vehicle. That's 5 years. 5 years. The Welsh government don't want people to own their own vehicles. Okay? So to condense that message, they are saying they are going to be charging people per mile if they want to carry on driving. So it's literally going to be, if you want the freedom of driving your own vehicle, you're going to have to be extremely wealthy. Especially where I live out in rural areas, just to go to a big supermarket, Okay. You know, that is insane. That's like a 3.5, 4 hour drive, a round trip. Can you imagine how many miles that will be? And if I have to pay, say, £1, £10, or whatever it is, Björn, yeah, I know, brother. I'm just telling you what's coming on in the UK. So they're planning on charging people per mile to drive their car after 2027. They're going to be promoting heavily car sharing clubs. So yeah, they want people to car share. So some people did try that in office jobs and stuff, try to, stop emitting carbon and all that sort of nonsense. All right. They want to encourage people onto public transport. And get this, this is the cherry on the cake. All right. They are going to be heavily pushing and reinforcing the ideology that electric cars will be better for the environment. Absolutely insane. Now, most of you guys know where I stand on electric cars, or EVs, as they're being called, electric vehicles. All right. Some people, it was in some news outlet last week, I think it was. This couple, they bought an electric car some time ago. They decided that the battery needed replacing, and the battery cost more than the car. So they found out the hard way. They didn't do their research like most of us are doing, and realizing that electric cars are an absolute bloody joke. And what happens when the battery starts to, it's like your mobile phone. You get a brand new phone, and the battery's amazing for about a year. And then after that year, it slowly starts to get crap. It's pretty much the same with an electric vehicle. Okay, the batteries will slowly get more and more crap. So much so, you're going to spend more time charging it than you are driving it, which is defeating the whole object. And when people come to the realization that that is actually factual for them at that moment in time, they are going to realize if they want to get a battery replacement for that electric car, most of the car has to be dismantled. And the replacement battery does indeed cost more or less the same price as a whole new car. So if you're spending 20, 30, 40,000 pounds on electric cars, guess what? After a amount of time, 2, 3, 4, 5, right up to 8 years, or whatever Tesla claim, they're going to realize that it needs a new battery, or they're going to literally throw away the car, okay, and go and get a new one. And guess what? I've seen pictures in France of fields and fields and fields and fields with thousands and thousands of parked cars, electric cars with stuff batteries. They don't know what to do with them. It's an absolute insanity. Okay, absolute insanity. And the main push behind all of what is going on, that's affecting everything. The main catalyst, okay, is climate change. Okay, they are going to try and make you believe that human beings are responsible for climate change. It used to be global warming. Okay, so if they get everyone to believe that the people are making the planet worse with extreme weather events, they can tax people and charge people. And it's exactly what they're doing here by stopping people driving their own cars as from 2027, unless you're extremely wealthy. Okay. Oh, we got to save the planet. Well, guess what? This planet's been around for 4-5 billion years, right? And they've only been starting taking records 80 years, maybe less, okay? And they're trying to tell us that we are responsible for how this climate is. But the truth of the matter is the climate on planet Earth has got a lot hotter and a lot colder than what it is right now, okay? And there is a thing, every 400 years, the sun goes through a cycle, and it's called the grand solar minimum. If you've not heard of that before, do some research on it, okay? But let me tell you this, over time, it's going to be very, very hard to research into the grand solar minimum, because like you're seeing on all of the social media platforms, anyone trying to speak the truth gets heavily censored, okay? But the fact of the matter is, in my opinion, and everyone's entitled to their opinion, is the sun is doing what it's doing to the planet. And it's been doing it for years. Every 400 years, all civilizations across the planet fall. Every 400 years. It's a cycle. If you go to China, all right, and you look, every 400 years, there's been a massive collapse. There's been crop failures because the climate's got so crazy, okay? And we're starting to enter that period now. Okay, you're already starting to see it. I mean, look at the droughts that are going on globally. Okay, absolutely insane. I mean, it rained for the first time here in Wales in a month. Can you believe that? And that's Wales. Yeah, all the streams, all the rivers are dried right up, and that's hard to believe in Wales. Okay, and we actually had 40 degrees centigrade in Wales, and they said it's a record. But guess what? Here's the thing: they said it's a record for Wales, but they've only been taking records for 100 years. I mean, how old is this planet? Between 4 and 5, maybe older, billion years. And they're trying to convince you by 100 years of data that we're the problem. BS is what I call there. Okay. Anyway, I don't want to rant too much about it. I'm just passing on information. So yeah, the Welsh Government Transport Strategy 2027 move away from individual car ownership. Now, if you want to research that online, it is out there on print right now on the internet. You can see it for yourself. And another thing which come in, this was sent to me via a private message on Instagram. And he sent me a link to a YouTube video. I watched it, and oh my god, Sweden. Okay, now if I could find the link, I'll try and put it on there, but I don't know if links can work on this thing. But anyway, he sent me this video, and it's insane. Sweden, I'm not sure how long ago, but they sent out leaflets to every citizen in Sweden. And it's basically urging them, if that's the right term, to prepare, to have a minimum, and get this, of 2 to 3 days worth of food in their house, have stuff for power cuts like candles, gas stoves, firewood, spare, all that sort of thing, warm clothing, the stuff that you would assume everyone should have in a rural environment. But this got sent out to every citizen, even in Urbanville, in the cities, all right? They've just sent a new updated one. So it's ramped from a few days worth of food to a few months worth of food. And the reasoning behind this leaflet that they sent to everyone in Sweden was the threat from Russia, okay? Russian boots on Swedish soil could be a real thing in the next 12 months, okay? So they're getting all of their citizens in their country to be prepared, okay? Seriously consider security for your property. Seriously consider food for when there's power cuts, cyber attacks, all that nasty stuff, okay? Always make sure that you can shelter, keep warm, keep cool, make sure that you're fed and watered, and you can protect yourself, your loved ones, and your property. If you can get all of that in place, you're doing good. Because trust me, the government ain't going to do shit to help. And that's fact. So let me just go through this week's emails, and there has been quite a lot actually. So we're going to go right back to Saturday. Let's have a look at this. Here we go. Hope you and your family are doing well. This is from someone called Jane. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. Hoosier Hill Farm on Amazon has powdered egg and cheese. Peak, also Amazon, sell big tins of powdered milk, full fat. Nido or Nido, November India Delta Oscar at our local Asian shop is good powdered milk too. I'm going to get some more coronation milk or Kishpot carnation milk. As it goes well in coffee if it comes to it. Thanks for all your live streams. I don't comment, but I appreciate information in regards to Jane. Awesome. So yeah, as I was mentioning last week, I'm really struggling to find powdered milk locally. The only way it looks like I can get it is online, but you buy it online, you've got to pay postage, and it's usually more expensive. So yeah, powdered milk. Personally, I don't really have milk. The only time I have milk is if I have porridge. Okay. Which is only be winter time. So winter time, yeah, I do have milk in my porridge every morning. Fill me up with that calories to get me through at least up till lunchtime. So yeah, powdered milk is a bit of a thing. So Hoosier Hill Farm on Amazon, powdered egg and cheese. So that's a bit of information for you guys. Right, here we go. This is interesting as well. This follows up from the live stream I've done last Friday about that area called Neath, which is in South Wales. I think there was 3 police officers on duty overnight time to cover that huge area, which has got a reputation for crime, shall we say. And just before I'd done the live stream, someone was stabbed. I'm not sure whether they died, but they were stabbed in Neath. So, you know, when the word gets out that there's only 3 police there, you can imagine how bad it's going to get there. So this guy, Andy, that's all I'm going to say. Regarding police figures, 4 nights in Neath. I can also confirm it's similar in the northwest. So I'm guessing it's northwest Wales or northwest England. I'm not entirely sure. This guy was a serving police officer. He left. He's absolutely had enough. And you know what? I'm getting more of these emails than people actually realise. I am in communication with a lot of police who are thinking of leaving, who have left, and some of them are still in there and they're struggling. Okay, I'm just passing information on, and they've said to me that it's okay to share this information. So I'm just doing as instructed. You mentioned heavily stressed officers. That's also accurate. And I'm not easily stressed out, but I felt like it like never before. Before joining, I did over 10 years as a prison officer without issue, but being a PC was chaos. I'm still glad I left both occupations and much happier now. All the best, been a viewer since the beginning. Oh, thanks ever so much for that, Andy. That's awesome. And we met at a prepper meet about 6 or 7 years ago. Oh, wicked. That's really cool. So yeah, it does appear that there's a lot of police who are leaving the force. Okay. I remember David Icke saying this a long time ago that police numbers are going to dwindle in the future, and he said this about 8-9 years ago now, maybe longer. So it was bang on, really. Everything pretty much David Icke said has come true. A lot of people ribbed him years ago, but more and more people are actually going, do you know what? All of the stuff he's been saying for years has absolutely come true. And if you don't believe me, you can go and look at him yourself, and you can hear him say everything that's been happening since the issue is absolutely come true. And he actually said what he envisages seeing is the police force getting run down, underfunded, high stress, officers leaving their jobs and their posts to be replaced by private security. Okay, now Group 4 or G4S, they're ones to look out for. Okay, there's going to be a lot of that and going on. Right, what have we got here? Maybe the 42. I'm not going to share that, Tim. It's a little bit too juicy for YouTube. All right, let me see. Oh, this is interesting. This is something I've been into for a long time. My pal, this is from Christopher. I'm not saying his full name and what he does. Is well up on numerology. Now, I've looked into numerology for a long time now, and yeah, basically, from what I understand, the universe is completely run by numbers. Like it or lump it, that's how it appears to be. And the importance of dates, etc. But when you have one of the most influential economists and money-saving people putting this out, clearly is going to be going sour on a self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, he sent me. Does anyone remember or heard of the name Martin Lewis? Now, I remember watching Martin Lewis on television years ago. It's been on, I haven't seen it for years, but Martin Lewis, money saving expert. Okay. Ah, look at that, Faye. You're in love. Absolutely. Guess what? It's time to leave the soft and go hard. Ha ha ha. Chat amongst yourself, people. Ah. Look at that. Straight out of the fridge. Look. Oh, you little beautiful little thing. And of course, I picked this up from an ironmonger store at an old craft fair years ago. How cool is that? Now, that was very little money. And I'll tell you what, that is one of the best, most ergonomically designed bottle opener I've ever used. It's seriously a good bit of kit. Look at that. You can hold it either way. I prefer it that way. Just fits in your hand. Look at that. Nice. So we're going to pop him open, drop the cap, and say, cheers, preppers. Oh, God. That's cold, sweet, crisp, and dry. Absolutely awesome. So, yeah. Thanks, Ray. Sorry about the burp. Martin Lewis sends out his weekly email to millions of people yesterday with the headline, UK faces financial hell. That's from Martin Lewis, in quote. All right. His warning, end quote, video highlights the likelihood of civil unrest and, what's that? Reiterates his previous warnings that people will have the choice of either starving or freezing to death. This is Martin Lewis saying this to millions of people in the UK. So if that's not going to press the fear button and getting everyone to go mental, I don't know what will, because these people with big followings like that, people just take them from face value and just do whatever. That's insane. He maintains September will be the catalyst, and that the new Tory leader, Prime Minister, will inherit this catastrophe. So again, this confirms that Boris has played his role and passed the baton onto the leading actors in the next scene. It will not be their fault, of course, absolutely, because they always blame someone else. As repeatedly predicted, the collapse of conventional society will necessitate, quote, government intervention on a huge scale. Problem, reaction, solution. Excuse me, that is coming back up, isn't it? Order out of chaos, order ab chaos, if you know what I'm talking about. Look out for major goings on September the 23rd. September the 23rd, okay? Hugely occultic date, and the autumn equinox is September the 22nd. I'm not looking forward to these two dates. And there's a link there to the it's called the moneySavingExpert.com news 2022/07 Martin Lewis open letter Tory leadership. Oh my God, there's a picture of Martin Lewis. He done it too well, does he? He's aged a bit. Right. It's actually got a title with the picture underneath the email. Watch. Martin Lewis issues stark warning to Tory leadership candidates to act over financial time bomb in video open letter. So if anyone's seen that, let me know what you thought about that video in the comments. That'd be cool. So that was from Christopher. Right, moving on to Wednesday. Let's have a look. Wow. Now, if any of you guys are in the EU, in Europe right now, capital letters, tell me whereabouts you are in Europe, because this is going to affect you guys, okay? Any of you guys in Europe, whack it. Thanks, Tactical. Nice one, sir. Now, I've got to pronounce this. Ursula von der Leyen. Ursula von der Leyen, Commission today in Brussels, asked member states to give her extraordinary powers to impose a mandatory 15% gas rationing in EU countries. It begins. Wow. 15% gas rationing. I was led to believe, but I didn't check this. I'm taking this as face value. So correct me if I'm wrong, okay? Please correct me. It's absolutely fine. I was told that Germany was over 90% reliant on gas from Russia, okay? And like I said in the last live stream, Lots of people obviously are blaming Putin for all of this because that's what they like to do, like to create an enemy so everyone attacks the enemy. But the thing was, because there's been massive global sanctions aimed at Russia for their invasion of Ukraine, what they've done was basically every single piece of money that goes into Russia that is not rubles gets confiscated. So Russia can't do anything. So Russia's going, okay, we've got all this gas, we've got all this grain, we've got this fertilizer. We can't export it because when people try to pay us in US dollars, which was the go-to currency, it just gets reducted, rejected, blocked, frozen, and the Russian government can't actually take money for their exported goods. So all Russia done was say, if anyone wants anything from Russia, please pay us in rubles. And all of the countries around the world have like sucked on the great big you know what and said, no, okay, no. And Russia's gone, okay, we'll sell it to countries who are, fine paying in rubles. And guess what? Those countries are China, India, some parts of the Middle East. They're paying Russia in rubles and getting exactly what they want. No big difficulty there. So that is the main reason why you are seeing exports fall from Russia, is because countries are refusing to pay them in rubles because of their beliefs of what they've done to Ukraine. That pretty much sums it up. So if you did want something from Russia, i.e. gas, because my country, Germany, relies 90% on you to give it to us, what would you do if you was German government? Bearing in mind, not so long ago, the German government had an absolute amazing economy. Okay, they got into debt a long time ago. They tightened their belts, they restructured everything, and they was absolutely smashing GDP in Germany. Okay, they was producing a lot of stuff. Business was good. Everything seemed fine. And now they're just doing as they're told by the global puppets. And guess what? They're refusing to pay rubles to get gas for their people. So now it appears that in EU, mainly Germany is going to be affected, like I say, because from what led to believe, they're 90% reliant on gas from Russia, 15% gas rationing. So if your home requires gas, guess what? You're going to lose 85% of it just because they're too silly not to pay in rubles. That's all it really is. Right, moving along now. We're going up to Thursday. Right, let me see. I'm sorry. Okay, no, that's an unrelated. That's about the trailer. Right, this is. Wow, this is a big email. Try and keep them short if you can. But yeah, what's the time? We've been on an hour and 7 minutes. We just about got enough time because I want to get onto some knife porn. Don't forget to remind me about the knife porn, guys. Okay. We've experienced a few comments. We've exchanged a few comments before, and then a few questions pops up on live stream. Looking forward to the show. I'm passing on something that I've been doing that may be helpful to someone on the group. Oh yes, I remember reading this earlier. They've been eating one meal a day for the last month as an experiment. Do you know what? I'd done that for a month. I had the 1 meal a day. It's called OMAD, 1 meal a day, OMAD. I'd done that for a month, and yeah, it only took about 4 days for your body to get used to consuming food at the same time every day. And what it does to your body, the longer you do it, you'd be surprised the little amount of calories that the body needs to actually function as you would always do. But you do need to do it gradually, okay? So sometimes if you want to stop smoking, you want to stop drinking, you do it gradually, okay? This is the same thing. So you just slowly go into eating 1 meal a day. And this guy's been doing it for a month, which is awesome to see. I love it when people actually try things. I mean, I do it myself. I try all these different things. I didn't eat a single thing for 4 days. I drank my own pee. I drank distilled water. I try things, okay? And I tried this OMAD thing. I've done it for a month, just eating 1 meal a day, okay? If you do it correctly, you just drink water and you have 1 meal a day. If you have a tiny bit of food outside of that, say, 1 hour, 1 meal a day eating window, it creates an insulin spike and it resets everything and it ruins what you're trying to do. If you are going to do 1 meal a day, you have to be strict. Don't eat a single solitary thing, right, outside of that 1 meal. So if you do, I will just have a crisp or a little chocolate square. Boom. Insulin spike ruined, reset, go back to square one. So yes, this guy's been doing it as an experiment. To get used to it, he saw the effects, to experience it. He appreciated in the collapse. It's a good way of thinking. I said this in a live stream years ago, actually, in the bunker. It might be a feast in some days. It was. I don't read that in public. He's been getting his kids used to eating rice, pasta, beans, etc., and mixing it up with varied herbs and spices. Absolutely endorse that. Good move. One thing he experienced as the last 2 weeks, this period, was stomach cramps and slight aches towards the left side of my stomach, known as pangs, P-A-N-G-S, which is expected during hunger. I should say, though, throughout the 4 weeks, I drank healthy amounts of water and took vitamins daily. Yeah, watch out for those vitamins of insulin spikes, because there's all sorts in those vitamins. My next move is to live month by month as normal and try a month of eating every other day. So yeah, basically what he's saying is he's doing 1 meal a day. Now he's going to gradually do it to 1 meal every 2 days, and anything like graft related, etc., is going to be done on meal days. So when you eat, that's when you're going to do the bulk of the work. When you're not eating, that's more of a relaxed day, etc. It's just an experiment that this guy's doing, okay? Because I like the way this guy thinks, because he's thinking ahead, okay? And it's all well and good having 3 months, 6 months, a year, 3 years worth of food. But if for whatever reason that gets ruined, your house fire, it gets confiscated by military or whatever it is, the sooner that you get your body to adjust on consuming less calories to get more output, the slower and longer your body gets used to doing that, the more beneficial it could serve you when times do get really, really lean, okay? So, yeah, absolutely. That was Andy. Nice one, Andy. Let me see another one. AK. Right, here we go. Newcastle upon Tyne, petrol 185, diesel 195. So that 195 diesel seems to be across the board, okay? Just reading through this. Here we go. Large bags of rice are now in stock in Tesco. However, it works out cheaper to buy the 1 kilo bags. Yeah, I did notice that actually. But another thing I noticed was the quality of rice is not that good, and you need to use quite a lot of it. The stuff that I get is in big 10 kilo sacks, and once I cook it in the method that I do it, in actual fact, I'll do a video of it one day of how I cook rice. I always struggled when I started doing it, but I perfected it years ago, and so much so every single time I do rice, it comes out perfect. And I use the absorption method. I don't measure anything, I just do it by eye because I've just been doing it for so long. And you can get rice to go so much further, okay? I tried it with this 10 kilo basmati rice that I get in the sacks, compared to the small cheap ones in the 1 kilo bag, like our kids say in there, and it hardly swelled up at all. So it could be a false economy thing on that. That's just based on some of the experiments that I tried. All of the freezer sections in Tesco went down with the heat wave on Tuesday. It also happened in Asda and Morrison's too. In Boyka, it's a local estate near where he works, the entire water supply for thousands of homes was stopped by Northumbrian Water from 5:40 until 10:30 at night. This happened on the hottest day of the year, when it got close to 40 degrees C. Can you imagine that? In a heat wave, you turn the taps on and no water comes out. That's another thing. If you haven't got any water stored, I would advise that you do some. Okay. Now, it all depends on how far you want to go with this. If you've got the room, get as much as you can. If you haven't got the room, just get enough to get you through, just say 2 days. Because if you do have a heat wave and it's no water, it's no good having a water purifier if you can't go out there and find water. Oh, that's good stuff. Right, so what he goes on. He still talks to the lads who was in the military. He left them in 2016. They have been told they will be working border patrol for the next 3 months as border force can't cope with the influx. Now, there's a big issue going on in the south east of the UK. Apparently, from what I've been hearing, that there's a big problem on the French side, processing stuff because of staff shortages, whatever excuse you want to do. That's impacted on a big backup of people trying to get from the UK into France. Absolute pandemonium with traffic. So apparently there's military being sent down there to sort of try and mop up all of the issues that's going down there. Again, what we talked about earlier was there does appear to be shortages of police. Another thing, which is a common thing that I've heard from current serving police officers, a lot of their leave has been cancelled at short notice, okay, which is taking the piss. Can you imagine? I think they were working like average 80-hour weeks. I think, look, I just want a day off to go to the park with my family to rest. And that, 10 days time, 9, 8, 7, right the day before when they're due to have that day off. No, leave's been cancelled. That's just well out of order. And can you imagine? I should imagine PTSD in the UK police is absolutely rife, and I don't think it's being talked about. But I know a lot of the lads who went out to Afghanistan, and they was doing basically 6 months on and 6 months off, and the high levels of stress daily. And then they come back, and in 6 months they try to sort of unwind, spend time with their family, but all the time they're reviewing it, processing, especially the bad stuff. That is heavily condensed PTSD. And I should imagine the police are getting a lot of that, because a lot of the police are absolutely disagreeing with the stupid law, mandates, and all the other bullshit that they're coming out with to uphold. Okay, lots of police are leaving the force because of it. Lots of people are trying to book off leave to have a break because it's just too stressful upholding these stupid things, and they're getting more and more stressed. So that is a big issue. So obviously with that going on, it's looking like they sent some military down there to try and help out with that situation in the southeast of the UK. He hasn't been able to confirm it. It's only from one source. So yeah, take that as not 100%. This is just new information. It's just literally come in. Wicked. So that is the emails up to date. Now, we said a bit of knife porn. Now, I don't like to do this after I've had a drinky poos, but hey ho, I'm going to do it before I get too schlozzled. Look at this. Unbelievable, isn't it? Now, this is a 50 cal ferro rod, right? That's just it for the size. It's a bit of a beast, isn't it? As ferro rods go. Proper 50 cal. Beautiful. Nice, thick, throws wicked sparks. And my mate Nick, Faye, you know what I'm talking about, he made this and he hand pinned it himself, okay? It's not one of those cheap shot ones where they just ram it near with some glue, hope it's going to be okay. That's actually drilled, pinned and glued to make it totally secure. Look at that. Absolutely on the money. That's just the ferro rod. Do you want to see the knife? You ready? Oh, yeah, incidentally, that sheath is awesome. That was made by a guy called Duncan from Dorset Woodland Blades. In my opinion, one of the best Kydex makers in the UK. Seriously, absolutely legend. And what I like about this, can you see that there? Look at that. Oh, my poor vagina. Oh, I'm only joking. That's a thumb ramp. Look, can you see? You put your thumb on there. You hold underneath. And you push. Are any of you guys familiar with the Becker BK2? Well, that is exactly a BK2, but I wanted it bigger and thicker. Now that is 8mm thick. And look at that. Starting from the top there, you can just about see it's a full flat grind all the way down, baby. And it's just got a little convex bevel on the end there. And that has been seriously hard used. And my favourite scale material of all time is micarta. Absolutely wicked. Now, what I'd done when I got this, I took it back home and I got my file and I just kept taking bits off of it and I sculpted it I don't know if you can see the profile there. Exactly to my hand. I mean, you can tell by how thick that stock is of how close I got to get to it. Just so I can get my hand on the perfect grip. Can you see? It absolutely feels amazing in the hand. And that is one of the biggest thing that I think a lot of knife people bugger up on is the handle, the scales, as they like to call them. Is they usually make the scales just to look nice, okay? I prefer it to feel nicer than what it looks. I don't care what it looks like. I want it to feel good in the hand, no hot spots, okay? There's so many knives out there which look amazing, but after using them for a very short amount of time, your hand is in bits, okay? So for any of you guys that make knives, please try to steer away from making the handle look good. Make it feel good, okay? I would rather feel good than look good, okay? But look at the plunge line on there. Wicked. Now, very special knife this. And what I wanted to do was to get some logos etched on the blade there. Now, some of you guys who've been following me for years actually saw this being made. Now, I made this myself along with, it's hard to say this, but Lee, LB Custom Knives, when he was alive, okay? LB Custom Knives, Lee Bennett, myself, Scott from Wessex Blades, Sandy from Jacklaw Knives, and Duncan from Dorset Woodland Blades. We all made this from scratch to finish in 24 hours. Yeah, insane. We made this in 24 hours just to show that it could be done. And we all done our bit in it. I was grinding it, I took part in the heat treat on it, I was sculpting the scales, etc., helping out with the Kydex forming of it all. We all done our bit, okay? So that's what I wanted to do, is to get all of the makers' logos put on there. I gave it to Sandy. This was at Lee's funeral, when I carried Lee's coffin to the grave. Sandy was there after, and I gave Sandy this knife to see if he can put the logos on there. Because it's already been heat treated and hardened, he couldn't do it. But I spoke to Scott at the prepper meet and he said he could. So at some point, I'm going to try and get hold of Scott, because I know he's a very, very busy guy. Like any good knife maker, they're going to be busy, okay? Now, he's got this new gadget device electronic thing, which he can laser etch anything into any steel. So providing he can get all of the logos and brands from all of the knife makers involved, I'll put my logo on there, have Lee's logo put in there, we'll have Sandy's logo put on there, we'll have Duncan's logo put on there, and we'll have Scott Wessex Blades logo all put on there. That will complete that absolute thing. And that is going to go to my son when I'm no longer here. So we lock that back in the sheath. We put our tiny little ferro rod inside. And that is my funky knife right there. The next knife in question, do you remember when I showed you that Tanto knife that I got from Dirty Room Knives, or Dale? He keeps changing his name. But this is the CRF1, okay? Now this sheath, which I'm going to need to get for the other Tanto one, is a Spec Ops one. And guess what? Look at that. How cool is that? Made in the USA. Absolutely love it. And I love anything made in the UK. All that made in China nonsense. Oh, we try and avoid that, don't we? So the Spec Ops sheath, okay? Awesome. Look. Now, I've done a video on this, and this has had nearly 1 million views, can you believe it or not? And I named it the Ultimate Combat Knife, or Fighting Knife. And just look at that. Yeah, it's an absolute cool bit of kit, isn't she? And do you know what makes it cool? Look at that. It's even put my logo on there. Now, that is really cool. And he's put his name Redpath. Now, at that moment in time, he called himself Redpath Knife and Tool. This is the CRF1. Okay. CR Craig Ruby. Now, Craig Ruby is a guy high up in law enforcement in Virginia, in America. Trains a lot of people in special weapons and tactics. This knife was designed by Craig and Dell together to make it a fighting knife, okay? And I'll tell you what, it's perfect. It really is. You can tell by the handle there that it's nice and flat and it's deep. That gives you really good control in the hand, okay? Seriously good control. There's no movement at all. Once it locks, it's seriously good. Handle's amazing. And if I remember, I'm going to try and do this. Look at that. The balance point is exactly where you want a fighting knife to be, okay? You want it just right, because it needs to be the same weight front and back, okay? It really does. It's not like, oh, it's a bit heavy or that's a bit light. It's just awesome. Absolutely wicked. So it's a perfect fighting knife in my opinion. It's absolutely super hard. I believe this one was in D2 steel. It's got awesome jimping on the top there. So if you're wearing gloves, the traction is excellent. They decided not to put a guard on there because this is feedback from some of the guys who are actually using knives out in combat in Afghanistan and Iraq, okay? Some of the intel that we was getting back from the Special Forces guys using knives on deployment, the issues that they had with traditional fighting knives was the guard was getting caught in webbing, okay? So when they're going to take out the enemy, this was being used and the little guard at the top and the bottom was just getting caught in webbing and it was an absolute nightmare. So based on all of the feedback from some of the SEALs and the Marines that was out there, some of the SAS as well, but I think there's only 2 members of the SAS who was actually feeding back with this information. They were saying that they need to have a knife which is good in the hand, up to the task, balanced right, with no guard. But what they did do is they managed to put that finger guard on there, okay, just for extra. Because if that wasn't there, can you imagine your hand just going up and accidentally, it would just take your hand right off. It's like an absolute scalpel, okay? So with that there, it's so good in the hand with the jimping. You get a firm lock on there. And of course, you've got the breaker at the back. It's pretty much bayonet, okay? So that will absolutely just pop vehicle windows. Easy peasy. So that is the CRF1 by Del Weber. Awesome knife maker here in the UK. And one of the options when I decided to buy this, I chose the Spec Ops sheath as an extra. And that sits nicely in there. That's Molly compatible, all the rest of it, okay? Goes in the pack, all sorts. Now this, I'm going to save the best till last, okay? I'm going to need a drink before I show this. I'm not going to insult your intelligence by cutting paper on it. Everyone knows that I'll keep my knife sharp, right? Look at this. Isn't that bitch? Again, completely Molly, all right? Do you want to see this? Before I do, a little bit of a teaser. Look at these, the pouches on the front. Now, see all these markings here? So if anyone is storing knives in a bag and he's got ferro rods in there, ferro rods give off stuff and it makes it manky. So that's a lesson learned there. This, that pops open and you've got a really generous pouch inside there. It's massive, in fact. It's hard to show on this light. It's huge, okay? So you not only have you got a pouch on there. God, I'm holding this right in front of my nose. I wish I was on a tabletop. And another pouch there. Again, you fit loads of goodies in there. So lots of people were saying at the time that this is a wicked end of the world knife, okay? So we're going to open your attention. Are you ready for this? Yeah, you sure? Are you ready? And that's a fucking knife. Excuse my French. Now that, let me show you. That is what you need to know. And they're the guys who do it. Tops knives. If anyone doesn't know their knives, you're missing a trick. Tops, in my opinion, are right up there with one of the best commercial knife makers going. Now, I've absolutely beat the crap out of this. Well, you can tell by some of the markings on there. I've smashed the hell out of it. And I always look after my blades, okay? This thing will survive whatever. And look how thick that thing is, all right? Now that saw back on there is absolutely vicious. You drag that through wood and it will cut, what is it, 3/8? So it is about 8 mil thick. a great big wedge in there. Okay, but yeah, it just gives you an idea of this. If I drop that, I've lost my leg. All right, it's got a nice wedge on the front, so extra penetration and strength on the front there. A tiny little drop, but that saw back is absolutely awesome. And look, you've even got a choil there if you need to do some close stuff around the camp if you really want to. Okay, but that handle, again, my Carter, my personal favourite knife material, absolutely feels great. And look where that thumb ramp is. You see there? Absolutely awesome. And again, like all I do with my big knives, always put a hand lanyard on there. All right. Now I learned that a long time ago when I nearly chopped my leg off. All right. So you put a hand lanyard on, you go under and over, and that is nicely secure on there. If that drops, it's literally just going to fall down. Right? It's not going to drop because it's actually attached to my hand. So yeah, that is the Tops Steel Eagle 111A, and that is a bitch. It really is an awesome bit of kit. Very kindly, Tops Knives. The guy who owns the place died last year, and I've actually still got the emails when I was chatting to him when I was on the television, and yeah, they wanted to send me this, and I'll tell you what, I can't thank that guy enough. So yeah, it means a lot to me, this knife. It's a beautiful thing. It's even got liners in there. Yeah, the Steel Eagle 111A by Tops Knives. Absolutely thumping bit of kit. And it's heavy. It's a chunk. Well, just it's the width of my shoulders, and I'm a broad-shouldered guy. All right. So yeah, you want to start getting serious, and don't forget when we're talking. I'm not going to say the word, but you've got a lot of reach, if you know what I mean. Okay. So yeah, we're going to put that very carefully back in his awesome, great big tactical sheath. So that's a bit of knife porn to end the live stream tonight. Oh my days, that's awesome. Right, that is it. Pounds, yeah. I suspect it's an awful lot of money, but luckily for me, mate, I got all that. It was sent to me as a gift, so I'm so grateful for having that. So there we go. That's enough to make a parson swear. Bro, you're so true. Absolutely right. So yes, absolutely wicked. Good for the zombie apocalypse. Oh, Joe, you're awesome. Bloody zombies. I'll tell you, the zombies, people walking around out there looking at their phones all the time, crossing the roads, not looking. They're zombies, in my opinion. So thanks ever so much. Apparently, there has been some donations left on the PayPal, which is absolutely amazing. Seriously. Well, I've just noticed Lee from the Bug Out. Hello, mate. Good to see you. Whoa. Let me just see if I can see him on there. Oh, here he goes, the Bug Out shop. He says, gotta love extra penetration. Oh, man. You're such a naughty boy. God, I hope you're still wearing lube, man, because that's going to hurt after a while. You need to be careful, dude. All right? So, yeah. Thanks ever so much for everyone coming along, and we've kept it over 200 throughout the entire live stream, which is absolutely awesome. Sometimes them viewing people just drop off, whatever, but that really means a lot, okay? Stay in power. It's always good to be hard and keep going right to the very end, if you know what I mean. So, wicked. Thanks to everyone who's commented. Don't forget, everyone watching the replay right now will see exactly what you guys have been typing in there, and every little helps. We've had a bit of information, we've had a bit of fun, we've had that knife porn, all that good stuff. So happy days. It looks like the trailer money is practically there. So I can't believe it. It's like Christmas every day. And Tactical, you are the man. Seriously. Oh, can't thank you enough, dude. So I'm going to be heading over to a friend of mine. His name is Mike. His channel is called Weapon Collector. I'm going to be on there for probably about an hour or so. Tactical, honestly, dude, you're the man. Moderated to the max. I'm going to be going over to Mike's channel now. I haven't seen anything from him, so I'm not sure if he's doing it. But if he's not, he's not. If he is, I'll be on there. So, yeah, Weapon Collector, what I usually do is I'll go to his channel and I donate some of my money from what I get here over to him because I love him and he's not got much money, so I help out what I can. So yeah, the Gurkha money is going to be going off on Monday morning. That's going to be good. So I'm waiting to see the feedback from that. And apparently we're going to be featured on the Gurkha monthly mail, which goes around globally. So that's going to be very cool. So yeah, the moderators, I love you so much. Without you, this stream's going to get messy, and no one likes mess all over themselves today. So yeah, Joe, no problem, honey. So yeah, that's it. That's me out. Have a lovely weekend, and don't forget, make sure that you email in anything that you notice happening around you or what you hear. Get it to me, and I'm going to share it on the next live stream. Okay, it's seriously important. Now, anyone who needs to find anyone, go under the comments section of this video, type in where you're from. If you need help forming communities, whack it in there. People watch this video, and you never know, you might strike lucky and find a good friend. So, enjoy yourself. Thanks for watching. Stay funky.